But the problem is we are stuck in comfort and we don't even know it. Comfort is predictable. Every day we wake up, we do the exact same things. It's familiar. It doesn't challenge us to be better, and our brain loves it. Freedom is a little bit different. Freedom puts you out there. It makes you scared. It makes you a little bit afraid. Everyone says they want freedom, but there's very few people that are actually willing to go out and quit protecting their comfort. Next month I think I'll start. It's staying in a situation that you don't like because it's predictable. I absolutely did not feel ready. I wasn't even close to feeling ready. And everything in me wanted to just leave that moment. Growth doesn't happen in comfort. It happens when you're forced or when you have to choose to step in something that you're really not ready for. Good morning. So everyone is talking about how much they want freedom. But the problem is we are stuck in comfort and we don't even know it. And why is that? Because comfort feels natural. It feels like something we should be doing. And the thing with freedom is it's uncomfortable. It puts us in a situation or an environment that we're not feeling really good about it. Okay? So let me ask you this. If you truly want freedom, what are you doing to make it happen? What are you doing to escape that life that you're setting in that feels comfortable, where you're stuck, where you're not taking the action that you really should be taking, right? Because comfort is predictable. Every day we wake up, we do the exact same things. It's familiar. It doesn't challenge us to be better, and our brain loves it because we don't have to really put ourselves in any sort of danger. Freedom, though, freedom is a little bit different. Freedom puts you out there. It makes you scared. It makes you a little bit afraid. And, everyone says they want freedom, but there's very few people that are actually willing to go out and quit protecting their comfort. Now, here's the thing. Comfort isn't very obvious. It doesn't feel like you're failing when you're not making that broker call, when you're not submitting to offer, when you're not putting yourself out where friends can make comments about what are you doing with yourself? Why are you doing this? Right? It's scrolling deal after deal after deal and telling yourself, well, next month I think I'll start. It's staying in a situation that you don't like because it's predictable. Okay. And it doesn't feel like failure. It is going to guarantee you're going to have failure. Now, I remember when I was arriving at boot camp at Parris Island, it was dark, loud, chaotic. The drill instructors were yelling, total uncertainty. And I'm going to tell you this, I absolutely did not feel ready. I wasn't even close to feeling ready. And everything in me wanted to just leave that moment because it was absolutely not comfortable. But what I knew was back where it felt safe, back where I grew up, I was never going to better myself. There was comfort, but it was not going to push me forward in my life. So in my mind, there was absolutely no backup plan. And that's the thing that hit me at that time. Growth doesn't happen in comfort. It happens when you're forced or when you have to choose to step in something that you're really not ready for. Now, I'm going to say this, that moment changed me. Not because I was confident, but because I moved forward, even though it didn't feel like something I wanted to do. And I can tell you this, most people will avoid that. Now, here's the other thing that a lot of people don't want you to hear. Growth requires us exposing ourselves. It's not something, confidence is something that's just going to appear overnight. It's something that you're going to have to build through your reputation, taking those uncomfortable calls to the brokers. Because in the beginning, that first deal is going to feel very, very risky. And that first step is going to feel very risky. But the thing is, repetition will kill that fear. Now, I can tell you when I started making broker calls, I felt completely out of sorts. I called them, I told them what I wanted. It made absolutely zero sense what I was saying. They knew I didn't know what I was talking about, but every single day I got a little bit better. And in the beginning, when it felt absolutely impossible, what I started realizing was that every time that I called one of these brokers, the conversation started to become a little bit easier. I had a little more knowledge. I was a little more comfortable in having that conversation. So the next thing that I had to do was learn how to go a step above that. I was no longer talking about single family or duplexes, triplexes, or quadplexes. Now I'm talking about apartment complexes, right? Because I pushed myself outside of my comfort zone. Now, here's the thing. If you want to change being stuck in comfort, it doesn't require a massive overnight action. What it requires is you saying every day, I'm going to take one step towards becoming a little bit better. Every day, right now I'm at 0. I might read for 5 minutes. I may make one broker call. And over time, that's going to start to build up. Add another broker call. Start doing 2 calls a day. Start underwriting a property every other day. And then all of a sudden you're underwriting every single day. In the beginning, it's going to feel uncomfortable, but at some point you are absolutely going to become an expert in it. Now, again, you do not grow by staying safe. You're only going to grow by stepping into the pressure. Now, multifamily is exactly the same way. Exactly what I was saying a few minutes ago. When I first started, I was dealing with single family homes. I really thought that multifamily was complicated, but the fact of the matter is it was no more complicated than what it was dealing with single family homes, right? It was just a matter of pushing myself into those conversations and putting myself in the right room. And every single one of you are capable of doing that. Now, let's wrap this up. You don't lack the opportunity. You don't lack knowledge. You don't lack the access to these deals. What you lack is the ability to step into the next thing, to push yourself a little harder, to jump out there and actually make these deals. Okay? Make those phone calls. Quit staying in comfort. Start pushing yourself outside of your comfort zone and go out there and discover the freedom that you deserve. Thank you.